Hello guys, hi, I am Amrit Raj, your master teacher here at Vedantu. Yes guys, आज हम मिड टर्म सीरीज का सेकंड चैप्टर डिस्कस करने वाले हैं, दैट इज कंट्रोल एंड कोऑर्डिनेशन. ये जो मिड टर्म सीरीज है इसमें हम क्वेश्चंस डिस्कस कर रहे हैं जो कि आपके एग्जाम में आपको अच्छा परफॉर्म करने में हेल्प करेंगे गाइस. ठीक है, और हम पहले लाइफ प्रोसेस के क्वेश्चन डिस्कस कर चुके हैं और आज हम कंट्रोल एंड कोऑर्डिनेशन चैप्टर के क्वेश्चंस डिस्कस करेंगे. राइट, सो लेट्स गेट ऑन विद द चैप्टर, है ना, एंड ट्राई टू डू सम इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चंस. ओके गाइस, सो लेट्स सी. So guys, the first question it had come in the 2019 exam. Okay, 2019 exam में आया हुआ ये question. Question asks, what is feedback mechanism of harmonic regulation? Take an example of insulin to explain this phenomena. Guys, जो feedback mechanism ये बहुत ही important topic है ना? Generally students get confused over here. Let me explain it to you. Right? Feedback mechanism is a mechanism which helps the body to maintain desired level of hormones within the body. Means जो hormones के level होते हैं हमारी body में within desired level रहे, मतलब जितना हमें चाहिए उसी level में रहे. ये वो वाला mechanism है जो hormone के quantity को control करता है within the desired limit. Okay, so how would we write? Feedback mechanism is a mechanism which helps to keep the levels of hormone within the desired limit. गाइस, हार्मोन्स को विद इन द डिजायर्ड लिमिट होने की क्यों जरूरत है? क्योंकि हमने देखा था अगर ग्रोथ हार्मोन अगर कम प्रोड्यूस हो तो व्हाट हैपेंस? इट लीड्स टू अ डिसीज कॉल्ड एज ड्वार्फिज्म. अगर ग्रोथ हार्मोन बहुत ज्यादा प्रोड्यूस हो जाता है हमारी बॉडी में, देन व्हाट हैपेंस? इट लीड्स टू अ डिसीज कॉल्ड एज जाइजेंटिज्म. राइट, सिमिलरली वी हैव वेरियस अदर डिसऑर्डर्स. फॉर एग्जांपल थायराइड ग्लैंड से, है ना, व्हेन थायरोक्सिन इज प्रोड्यूस्ड लेस और आयोडीन इज टेकन लेस, इट लीड्स टू अ डिसीज कॉल्ड एज goiter. Right, so we don't want such complications, hence there is a mechanism. एक मैकेनिज्म है जो हमारे हॉर्मोन्स के लेवल को मेंटेन करने में हेल्प करता है. दिस मैकेनिज्म कैन बी ऑफ टू टाइप्स. राइट, व्हाट आर दे? पॉजिटिव फीडबैक मैकेनिज्म एंड गाइस negative feedback mechanism. Right, I guess we are clear till here. Right, so we will write ki what does it do? It helps to control the level of hormones within the desired limit. It is of two types, positive feedback mechanism and negative feedback mechanism. राइट, सो अगेन इससे आगे भी लिखना, आप लिख सकते हो कि पॉजिटिव फीडबैक मैकेनिज्म स्टिमुलेट्स द रिलीज ऑफ हार्मोन. स्टिमुलेट मींस इट कॉजेस द रिलीज ऑफ हार्मोन. जो पॉजिटिव फीडबैक है वो क्या करता है? हार्मोन के रिलीज को कॉज करता है. जो नेगेटिव फीडबैक है वो क्या कहता है कि भैया बस और हार्मोन्स मत प्रोड्यूस करो. इट इनहिबिट्स द सेक्रेशन ऑफ हार्मोन्स. नाउ वी विल अंडरस्टैंड इट विद द हेल्प ऑफ यस गाइस इंसुलिन. What happens? Guys, insulin is produced by which gland? Pancreas. Pancreas produces hormone that is insulin. What does insulin help in, guys? Insulin help us to maintain the blood glucose level. जो शुगर खाते हैं ना हम और जो शुगर लेते हैं तो it helps us to maintain the level of sugar in the body. Insulin and glucagon दो hormones हैं. हमारे जो pancreas हैं produces two hormones, insulin and glucagon, which helps us to maintain the blood glucose level. Insulin क्या करता है? It decreases the blood glucose. Glucagon increases the blood glucose. So it acts in a loop. We will just see what happens. Glucose level increases. Now what happens? Pancreas start producing इंसुलिन। जैसे ही ग्लूकोज लेवल मेरी बॉडी में बढ़ा, पैंक्रियास ने क्या करा, स्टार्ट प्रोड्यूसिंग इंसुलिन, राइट। नाउ दिस इंसुलिन व्हाट विल इट डू, इट विल डिक्रीज level of it will decrease the level of glucose, right? Okay, oh my god, it decreases the level of glucose. Now when the level of glucose decreases, the pancreas produce yes guys, what increases the blood glucose level? Pancreas will produce glucagon, which will again increase the blood glucose level. Are you able to understand? There is a cycle going on which helps us to maintain the concentration of insulin in the body. Guys, are you able to follow? है ना? Amazing. If you are able to understand, click like. Okay, please hit the like button if you are able to understand. है ना बेटा? Very good. Are you able to follow? So now here what is happening, guys? Glucose level increases, it produces insulin. The pancreas produce insulin, which decrease the glucose level, When the glucose level decreases, the pancreas know कि हाँ insulin has done its work, so I should stop producing insulin. So what is happening over here, guys? Negative feedback, and it starts producing glucagon. So what type of feedback is happening for glucagon? A positive feedback. Decrease in glucose level acts as a negative feedback for insulin secretion, whereas it acts as a positive feedback for glucagon secretion. है ना गाइस? सो आपको ज्यादा नहीं लिखना, आपको जो फर्स्ट स्लाइड मैंने दिखाया था वो वाले लिखनी है कि इट हेल्प्स टू मेंटेन द डिजायर्ड लेवल ऑफ हार्मोन्स इन द बॉडी. द सेकंड पॉइंट विल बी इट इज ऑफ टू टाइप्स, पॉजिटिव फीडबैक मैकेनिज्म व्हिच स्टिमुलेट्स और causes the production of hormones, and negative feedback mechanism which inhibits, मतलब रोक देता है production of hormones. और हम ये वाला एक फ्लो चार्ट बना के दिखा देंगे and we will get full 3 marks, guys. These are the 3 points which I would be expecting if I had been correcting your paper. Okay guys, so let's move forward. Let's look at the second question. I hope you understood this one. Okay, this has come in the 2019 exam. Okay, regarding plant hormones. Okay, what are plant hormones also known as, guys? They are also known as, yes guys, they are also known as phytohormones. Plant hormones are also known as phytohormones. What do they help in, guys? They help plant in growth and development. They help plant in growth and development, guys. Okay, so plant like us, they are not complicated. Okay, they have very simple life. They keep standing in the sun, है ना, full day and night. They just keep standing. They don't talk. They don't walk. They have very simple life. So just they need hormones for only growth and development. Okay, so we have studied about 2 types of hormones: growth promoters and growth inhibitors. What are the growth promoters, guys? Auxin, gibberellins, and cytokinin. What are they? They are growth promoters. Whereas what are growth inhibitor, guys? Abscisic acid, ethylene. These are what? Growth inhibitor. Right? So we had studied about them. Now moving towards them, guys. So the question specifically asks for the plant hormones responsible for the following. What causes growth of the stem, guys? What causes growth in the stem? The auxin, called as auxin. Auxin causes growth of the stem. We just studied, right? Or we'll, auxin. We had seen, right, कि whenever the sunlight is coming from a direction, auxins move towards the shady region and it causes the growth of the stem. So hence growth of the stem is because of auxin. Promotion of cell division, guys. Cytokinin. Okay, but cytokinin alone does not promote cell division. Okay, auxin also has a role in it. Auxin also has a role in it. So auxin and cytokinin work in conjunction with each other, means work in coordination with each other and causes promotion of cell division. Okay guys, these are chemicals. Okay, you cannot see कि बस ये यही काम करेगा और promotion of cell division बस cytokinin करेगा, ऐसा you cannot separate totally. They are, you know, helping each other because they come under the category of growth promoters. But inhibition, guys, inhibition is done by abscisic acid and ethylene also you can write over here, inhibition of growth. ABA or as in abscisic acid. It is also known as, guys, what is it also known as? It is known as abscisic acid. It is also known as abscisic acid. Right, you can write ethylene also. Abscisic acid is also known as, guys, stress hormone. It is also known as stress hormone. Moving towards elongation of the cell, guys. Elongation of the cell is because of hormone called as gibberellins. Gibberellins cause elongation of the cells. Basically in dwarfism, dwarf plants are made to elongate because of the gibberellins. As I told you guys, auxin, cytokinin and gibberellins, okay, all of them are growth promoters, so we cannot strictly define their function. Okay, they cause the growth in the plant. So this is how you're going to write if this question comes in the exam. Let's move to the next question, guys. Let's see the next question. Yeah, the next question is, what is synapse? Yes, very easy question again. Yes guys, try. Yes, it is the functional junction between two neurons. What is the synapse, guys? It is a functional junction between two neurons. A neuron cell, how is an electrical impulse created and what is the role of the synapse in this context? कैसे करेंगे इसको, कैसे लिखेंगे, guys? What you need to mention is synapse is the, yes guys, let me use a black pen. Between two synapse, the functional junction between two neurons, and we will draw it also, guys. And how will we draw? Like this, है ना? Like this we can draw. We will draw one more neuron over here. Like this. Right, guys? So here, how will we show it? So this junction, right, is called as synapse. Right, this junction between the two neurons is called as synapse. Now in a neuron, how is an electrical impulse created and what is the synapse in this context? How is electrical signal created, guys? Electrical signal is created when there is a stimulus. Whenever there is a stimulus, what happens? An electrical impulse is generated in the cyton or the cell body and it travels as electrical impulse. It travels as an electrical impulse. But this electrical impulse, as soon as it reaches the terminal ends or the end of the axon, what happens over here, guys? Here chemicals are released. What is released over here? As soon as the electrical impulse reaches over here at the synapse or basically the axon end, what happens? Chemicals are released. What are these chemicals called as, guys? These are neurotransmitters are released. Now these neurotransmitters are received by the dendrites of this neuron. Dendrite means ये जो small say, you know what thread-like things हैं, these are called as dendrite. So these neurotransmitters are received by the dendrites and this neurotransmitter, the chemical signal is again converted into an electrical signal which moves along the axon. है ना? Here electrical signal is generated because of these chemicals, that is neurotransmitters generate a electrical impulse in the next neuron, and the electrical impulse moves, and suddenly what happens? Again here at the end of the axon, again chemicals will be released, that is neurotransmitters will be released, and again there will be one more neuron present over here. Are you guys understanding? So this is how an electrical impulse travels within the nerves. Right guys? So electrical impulse gets converted into chemical impulse at the neuron, which are received by the dendrites of the adjacent neuron, and the chemical signal is then again converted back into the electrical signal, and it transfers along the axon. Are you to understand guys? So this is how basically the diagram is the most important part. If you just draw this diagram, the teacher would understand कि हाँ आपको पता है synapse क्या होता है, neurotransmitter क्या होता है और electrical signals कैसे जा रहे हैं. Guys, very simple diagram है ना. It will just hardly take you a minute or so. Right? So yeah, a synapse is a gap between the two neurons. As I keep saying guys, you need not mug up all these things. You just need to remember the keywords. As the keyword over here is guys, I would say the functional junction. Instead of writing all these things, the synapse is the functional junction between the two neurons. Instead of gap, you can write functional junction between the two neurons. And when a nerve impulse reaches the knob like the nerve ending, okay, when a nerve impulse reaches nerve ending, this is another keyword, nerve ending, and the end was the nerve ending, chemical substances is released in the synapse. This chemical substance is called as guys what? Neurotransmitter. Right? At synapse, electrical signal, guys, very important. This is the only point which you need to write. At synapse, the electrical signal is converted into chemical that can easily cross over the gap and pass on to the next neuron, where again it is converted into the electrical signal. I know guys, अपना sentence बनाना is the most difficult part, but I want you to learn this. अभी हमारे पास बहुत ज़्यादा time है, not बहुत ज़्यादा, but yeah, अभी we are at the starting of the session, first midterm आ रहे हैं, तो you have lots of time. Till March, trust me, if you read by the keyword method, आपकी preparation बहुत ही holistic रहेगी and it would stay with you. This is the real studies, okay? Like mugging up and writing in the exam, it's like normal. You will forget it. It's not the real studies, guys. है ना, guys? So इतना सारा लिखने की भी जरूरत नहीं है. I just want, see, this will give you 1 mark. The diagram will give you the another mark, and the third mark will be produced by the terms neurotransmitter and electrical signal is converted into chemical, है ना? Which is again, pass to the next neuron, and where it is again converted into the electrical signal. You just need to write this. Yes guys, I know it is difficult, but still, like तभी तो मजा है, like okay guys, I know I am asking too much from you people कि write it in your own words, but yeah, that is how it is supposed to happen guys. Okay, let's move to the next question guys. State how concentration of auxin, again guys plant hormone पे question है, ठीक है, stimulates the cell to grow longer on the side of the shoot which is away from the light. Now what happens now guys, as I told you, auxin, what does the auxin do? Auxin promote guys apical dominance. What do you mean by apical dominance guys? Apical dominance मतलब होता है जो हमारा प्लांट है ना, जो हमारा प्लांट है, इट विल ग्रो फ्रॉम द एपेक्स. मतलब यहां से ऐसे बड़ा होता जाएगा. इट विल ग्रो फ्रॉम द एपेक्स एंड द साइड ब्रांचेस विल बी नेग्लेक्टेड. मतलब द प्राइमरी फोकस ऑफ द प्लांट इज टू ग्रो इन साइज, ताकि सनलाइट आ सके अच्छे से, है ना. और रूट का इज टू ग्रो डीपर एंड डीपर सो दैट दे कैन गेट वाटर. सो हियर वी से द ऑक्सिन गेट्स अक्यूमुलेटेड इन द एपेक्स, है ना, इन द एपेक्स एंड कॉज द ग्रोथ इन द डायरेक्शन. ओके, सो वी से ये सब ऑक्सिन की वजह से होता है. कौन से केमिकल की वजह से होता है प्लांट में जो हमारे पास है? ऑक्सिन की वजह से होता है. सो वी से ऑक्सिन कॉजेस apical dominance and it causes growth. Okay, now there is one more interesting thing guys. होता क्या है? So this is my plant, right? And now what is happening? It is in a room and sun is over here. Sun is lying over here. Now what will my plant start doing, right? My plant will start growing towards the sun. My plant will start growing towards the sun. Right, my plant will start growing towards the sun. Now why does this happen, guys? Because when sun is coming from this direction, the auxin gets accumulated in the direction away from the sunlight. Are you able to understand? The side which is away from the sunlight. Are you able to understand? Sun is coming from this side, so auxin, sun is coming from this direction, sunlight. So auxin, instead of getting accumulated over here in this direction, guys, here. Are you able to understand? Instead of getting accumulated in this direction, what is happening? They are moving towards this opposite side. Why? Now when they move over here, what happens? They cause cell growth. They cause production of more and more cells. So as cells are produced here more, मतलब cells यहाँ पे बनते जाएंगे, तो here the weight will start increasing and the plant will start going like this. Because here cells are not being produced. Because oxygen is not there. तो क्या होगा? Cells सारे यहाँ पे बनते जाएंगे and what will happen? The plant will start becoming heavy and it will start slowly moving towards the sun. Are you able to understand, guys? So this is how you're gonna explain. Guys, the diagram is self-explanatory. The diagram over here is self-explanatory. If a teacher sees this diagram, right, he or she will give you mark. Because what we want to see कि the student को idea है कि क्या बात हो रही है यहाँ पे. That's the entire purpose of learning and taking an exam, not just seeing whether you are able to copy paste what is written in the book. No, that is not real exam. Exam is कि whether you are able to understand कि क्या हो रहा है. Right, guys? So here, when light falls on the side of the shoot, auxin diffuses. Guys, what you will write here? The keyword are auxin diffuses towards the shady side of the shoot. Auxin diffuses towards the shady side. As I told you, the peachy wala side of the shoot. This concentration of auxin, as I told you, stimulates cell to grow longer on the side of the shoot, which is away from the sunlight. It causes the cell to grow longer on the side of the shoot, which is away from the sunlight. Thus, plant appears to bend towards the light. The plant appears to bend towards the light. Right, guys? So let's move forward. Yeah, guys, again very easy question related to plants. Write one example each of the following movement, guys. Yes, example of the following movement. What do you mean by positive phototropism? Guys, tropism means movement, directed towards or away from the stimulus. Right? Now there are two types of movement, guys, in the plant: growth dependent movement and growth independent movement. Growth dependent movement is called as a tropic movement and growth independent movement is called as a nastic movement. Now the growth dependent movement can be of two types: either towards the stimulus or away from the stimulus. Whenever the growth dependent movement is towards the stimulus, right, we call it as positive. Whenever it is away from the stimulus, we call it as negative tropism. Right, guys? Are you able to follow? Very good. Now, guys, we just need to write an example. Positive phototropism means guys, movement towards the sunlight. What part of the plant shows movement towards the sunlight? Yes, guys. Exactly. The shoot. Obviously, in a shoot, we just saw that shoot moves towards the sun. Wherever the sun is there, the shoot moves towards the sunlight. What will be the example of a negative phototropism, guys? Root go away from the sunlight. Root, sun is coming from here, root starts to go in an opposite direction to the sun. Positive geotropism, guys, roots show positive geotropism. Negative geotropism, guys, what shows negative geotropism? Yes, again, guys, shoot shows negative because geotropism means towards the gravity. If it is moving towards the gravity, we'll say positive geotropism. If it's moving away from the gravity, we'll say negative geotropism. Right? Very good. Hydrotropism, again, roots move towards the water, we say hydrotropism. Chemotropism, guys, example, movement of pollen tube towards the ovule. Growth of pollen tube towards the ovules after the fertilization. Guys, so these are the examples of the phototropism. These are again very important. You just need to know the example. Yes guys, explain 3 directional movements in the plant. We just saw, you can write any of these, है ना, geotropism, hydrotropism or phototropism. How brain and spinal cords are protected guys? Very good. How are they protected? Brain is present inside the cranium, right? A box like structure in the skull called as cranium. Apart from that, and spinal cord is protected by the vertebral column. Apart from that, there are layers. 3 layers are present which protects the brain and the spinal cord. They are called as meninges. And the third thing which protects the brain and the spinal cord is guys cerebrospinal fluid. There's a fluid also present in the brain and the spinal cord which protects it from damage, right? And the third part is guys, what name? The master gland present in the brain. Yes guys, master gland, which is the pituitary. Pituitary is the master gland. Let's see guys, see. Stimuli is responsible for movement of plant towards or away from it. This movement is called as tropic movement, and you can write any of this: phototropism, geotropism or hydrotropism. Photo movement towards the sunlight, geo movement towards the gravity, and a hydro movement towards the water away from the gravity, and all these things. Yeah. Now guys, both brain and the spinal cord are protected by the bone. The bone of the skull, spinal cord is protected by basically vertebrae, as I told you, and the brain is protected by the cranium. As I told you, they are cushioned by the membranes. Yes guys, here skull and vertebrae, and here guys cushioned by the membranes called as meninges, as I was telling you, and a fluid called as cerebrospinal fluid. And finally guys, pituitary gland is the master gland of the body, right guys? Yeah, let's move forward. List in tabular form 3 differences between nervous system and chemical coordination. Guys, very important question. Okay, this might come in this year's board exam. Okay. So yeah, there can be many differences, guys. First of all, nervous system is basically consisting of neuron cells, and endocrine system is basically glands and a production. It involves glands which produce the chemicals. Here electrochemical impulses are used. What are used over there in the endocrine system? Only chemical impulses are used over there. Signal is transferring very fast, and are not prolonged. It is for a very short duration. Signal is slow but it stays for a longer duration. Signal is slow but stays for a longer duration. The cells are interconnected and the whole system is continuous. Are you to understand? The neurons are connected to one to another. The organs, our whole system, are not physically connected. The gland is somewhere here, the target organ is somewhere there. They are not physically interconnected. Use of neuron to transmit this thing signals, whereas what is happening over here? Circulatory system, that is blood, is used for transporting or transmitting signals, guys. You just need to remember, it might come for 5 marks also, or even 3 marks also. So you can write 3 and 5 points accordingly. Right guys? Let's move forward. Yeah. Name the hormone secreted by the following endocrine gland and specify one function of each. Guys, very important. Okay, it came in the 2018 paper. Very important. Yes. So yes guys, what is the hormone produced by thyroid called as? Yes, exactly, it is called as thyroxine. Right, thyroxine is produced by the thyroid gland which is present in the neck region. What's the function, guys? It increases the It is responsible for increasing the metabolism of the body. Metabolism means usage of carbohydrate, proteins and fat. Thyroxine is responsible for increasing the metabolism of the body, that is usage of carbohydrate, proteins and fat. Again guys, pituitary produces actually many hormones, but we will, for simplicity, we will take it as growth hormone. And as the name suggests guys, what does growth hormone do? Yes, responsible for height or growth. Pancreas guys, we just did, it produces hormones called as insulin or glucagon, which is responsible for, yes guys, maintenance of glucose levels. Right guys? So yeah, I would like to give you few questions. See, what's the hormone produced by testes? And guys, ovaries. Yes guys, testes produce the hormone called as testosterone. They produce testosterone. And ovaries produce, guys, progesterone and estrogen. Now guys, testosterone, progesterone, estrogen, they are responsible for secondary sexual characters. What are they responsible for, guys? Secondary sexual characters in male and female. For example, male ka secondary sexual characters are growth of facial hair, है ना, low pitch of voice, whereas female का secondary sexual characters are development of the milk gland or the mammary gland, है ना, broad hips. Then talking about high pitch of voice. These are secondary characters of the female. So these hormones help in that, right guys? Very good. Let us see one more question, guys. As I was telling you, thyroxine hormone is secreted by the thyroid gland. It regulates the carbohydrate, protein and fat metabolism. Pituitary hormone regulates the development of the body or growth of the body. And a pancreas, insulin helps in maintenance of this thing. Okay, name the hormone which is released into the blood when its sugar level rises. Explain the need of chemical communication in multicellular organisms and the organ produces which this hormone and its effect on blood glucose level. Also mention the digestive enzymes secreted by the organ, one function of each. Explain the need for chemical communication in multicellular organs. Are you able to understand, guys? Insulin is such favorite topic of examiners. They keep asking that again and again. Insulin is बहुत favorite examiners का, है ना? Insulin is a hormone produced when the cells, glucose level increases. Then, in order to multicellular function properly, cells must communicate. Why is chemical coordination needed? For communication between the organs or the cells, है ना? So, hence they help in control and coordination. So the same thing is written over there. Guys, pancreas also produces the digestive enzyme, right? है ना? Pancreas produces pancreatic juice, which contains pancreatic amylase, which contains trypsin. है ना? Trypsin helps in digestion of protein. Pancreatic amylase helps in digestion of carbohydrate. The same thing is written over here, guys, and I don't want to read it out. है ना? So the same thing. Yeah. Okay guys, so you just need to simplify it and write it, okay, instead of writing this complex thing. Cell to cell signaling is critical component of coordinating cellular activities. What do you need to write? Why is the question was like, guys, question was explain the need for chemical communication in multicellular organism, right? Why is the chemical communication needed in multicellular organism, guys? Why? So that because multicellular organisms are very complex organisms, okay, they have complex functions. For effective control and coordination of the body of a multicellular organism, chemical communication is necessary, right? So we can write it in that way. Basically, it is writing it in your own words. This signal, it is. You can write it. It is necessary for growth, development, cellular production, tissue repair, or sensing activities. Are you able to understand, guys? So why is control and coordination necessary? So you can write all the functions of the glands. For example, why is it necessary? For growth, because pituitary helps in growth, है ना? It is necessary for metabolism, है ना? Hormone chemical coordination is necessary for what? It is necessary for growth. It is necessary for metabolism, and abhi we studied. It is necessary for development of the body. Development क्यों? Testosterone develops the body, male body. Estrogen and progesterone develops the female body, so that is why it is necessary for the development of the body, है ना? So basically the same thing, you need to write it in your own words. Let's move forward, guys. Last question for today. State the structural and functional unit of nervous system. Draw its neat labeled diagram. Write two functions. Very easy, guys. What is the structural and functional unit of nervous system? Neurons, right? Neurons are the structural and functional unit of nervous system. We just drew that, है ना? You remember we drew this earlier? You need to mention over here, guys, diagram. What you need to mention? The labeling should be proper. Dendrite, cell body, है ना? Nucleus, axon. This entire thing is axon, guys, है ना? And axon terminal. If you mention these, it would be good, nice and crispy. Yeah, passing of information takes place in the neuron, है ना, by electrical impulse or in the form of chemicals. So what are their function, guys? Reflex action. Draw its table, write its two functions. So we can write basically sending or responding to a stimuli, neuron helping responding to a stimuli. Second thing you can also write, it helps in reflex action, that is spontaneous involuntary response to a stimuli. Right guys, I think we'll end the session today over here. Please do mention how did you like the session in the comment, and please hit like if you liked the session, and we would be happy to help you further also. Just mention in the comments, you know, what are able to understand and what more you want, and how did you feel about the session. And we have made wonderful content in physics, chemistry and mathematics also, guys. Just do watch them, they're really amazing. And yeah, just stay connected guys, stay motivated, keep smiling. I'll see you in the next session. Bye bye.